He might be able to get another 200-yard game to his name. Instead, Vitali going deep, looking for Tate. He's got it again! Tate brings it in for a touchdown.
TikTok come to London, get ripped off. Man, get pissed off when I start
Big on to the end zone. Touchdown!
Every time I tripped up, little petty tended the big roll. Me and my GC and everything mix up.
He wants it all. As a man is caught by a horn for the touchdown!
Get mad, but always villain, always moving up, just leveling.
Guard line, puts up the middle of the drop. Roots makes two defenders miss. He skips to the end zone, touchdown, and there's the nail in the coffin.
Good pass, lob back, end zone back pylon, and it is caught! What a huge reception there!
He throws complete across the middle and into the end zone for the touchdown. That is Lewis Benedict Geyer. Geyer just put. There will throw. He'll throw deep, looking for 6, and it's complete for the 4th receiving touchdown of the game by Malik Stamp.
Welcome to another week, another episode. Here with me in Dragon's Land, I have my good friend Pablo.
Hello, everybody.
And here, another regular from the show, Santiago.
Pleasure to be here.
And myself, David. This time I'm going to introduce myself because I always forget to introduce myself.
First time in our programs?
Okay. First time. Plenty of things to talk about. We are going to talk about stuff. Late news. The Kings might
disappear.
Yeah, it seems like they're gonna disappear. So
we don't know where. That's the issue. That's the question.
That's a big question. When we don't know if they're gonna play the next game or if
2 games
or 2 games or
they are going to
not at all.
Season. But it's gonna be an interesting bet. The Thunder against Kings. It's played. It's not played.
The farewell tour.
Yeah, exactly. Farewell tour.
So yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about breaking news, the records, what's the rankings. Anyways, there's a lot of things that we're gonna talk about in today's show. But without further ado, we're gonna leave you with the rankings and see how that last week went.
Let's go.
Well, and that's the ranking so far for week 4. And starting off today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about the Enthroners against the Panthers, 33-63. At the beginning of the highlight tape, we made an error, 99 points. No, that it's actually 96 points. But you get the idea. A total
Annihilation.
Yeah. I really a showmanship of like scoring points. Something like madness. Pure madness.
It was a Panthers game because they started very well, because they started 35 points until 10 seconds before the halftime show. But after that, Enthroners scored a little bit in the second half. It's true that it was the second part of the second unit of Panthers. It was a good game from Broadsword. They enter another win. They enter in a good spot for the playoffs. And for Enthroners, at least they score, I guess.
I mean, good things, bad things. We've seen it all through the game. Good things, Panthers taking it serious as they should. Another game, another win. 63 points. What else can we say? Yeah. Obviously, right? 33 points for the Enthroners, which is pretty impressive. It's true that the Panthers decided to rotate a little bit more their players and give the second unit a chance to play more. And I mean, they managed to score 33 points, right? Which is good, right? Letting
improvement.
Yeah,
there's an improvement.
That's a way to see it. Yeah. It's an offensive improvement. It's a defensive, but yeah, it's an improvement in one side of the ball. Yeah. Let's get with that.
It's really important also to notice that Tony Tate finished with 4 touchdowns. The running back, 3 touchdowns. That's 7 touchdowns between 2 players.
They scored 10. I mean,
that's enough.
It's really tough. I think that at the end, players like Tate, when they play against a team like Enthroners, well, they don't have any way of stopping him.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think Vitale make a good enough game, but at sometimes he was throwing to people like it was a training camp.
Yeah.
He was absolutely alone. So
2 of the touchdowns are with short routes, with a whip, and another with a screen, I think so.
Yeah. And I mean, when you're catching the ball and like running for more than 50 yards to score, I mean, is there a defense playing there?
Yeah.
You know?
That's
it. I mean, it is true that it's to rotate the men that we're talking about, which is like, I mean, he's one of the top dogs in the league right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Props to him. But after all, we can see how like the entire motion of like celebrations that he had at the very beginning. He was super hyped, scoring at home game, right? And at the very end, his last touchdown, he was like already kind of yawning. Like
I have said 10 touchdowns. It's 9 for Broadway. 9 touchdowns. You are not playing defense.
No,
you are there.
Sure, no.
You are trying, but I think that's the good thing about Enthroners. They are trying. But if the best thing that we can say about a team is that they are trying, we are seeing they are really, really, really bad.
I mean, they're trying, but they're still getting better results than other teams that we'll talk about later, such as the Helvetic Guards, tough one, or the Centurions, also tough one. We'll talk about it later on.
Kings also, that it was the same difference.
Lions.
Lions, well, they also, They didn't play this week, so they didn't do a bad game.
They saved for this program. But
that's a good thing, I guess.
So yeah, I mean, not much more for this game, I would say.
No.
Right?
Let's go with the next one.
We can move on to the next one. The Kings against the Vikings, right? 14-47. The Kings. I mean, we opened the show talking about the breaking news. They might not continue. I mean, we know for a fact that they're not going to continue playing, but we don't know until when.
I think that the official statement is one of the weirdest I have ever seen, because it's like, we don't know if we are going to continue next year, but we don't know if we are going to finish this one, but we don't know if we are going to play this weekend. So it's like, then why are you talking about next year if you don't know if you are going to play this Saturday? I think it's a really weird situation. The league has, when we were recording, has sent another statement that says that they know today that they fall.
Yeah.
So it's all madness right now.
Yeah.
And the game, it was a Viking game. Really well, Weston Carr, that he came back from injury, but it was another Viking game that they are winning with ease in the third quarter, and there are some people that are entering in the game that are rookies, that are the second unit, the third unit, a Kings game. I mean, they lose by a lot, and that's it. And now maybe it's the last call for them.
I mean, we got to talk a little bit to Luis Moreno, right? One of the wide receivers for the Kings, good friend of ours, also a Spaniard. He told us a little bit about the Kings situation. Plenty of the offensive linemen, like the starting offensive linemen, were injured. I mean, we understand that it's going to be tough for the Kings to perform at a high level when there's a lot of your starting players injured. But again, if your quarterback is still
Losing the
ball, not taking care of it, fumble machine.
Yeah,
He's like a
also.
true fumble machine.
The snaps weren't well. That's true. Also.
That's true. So it's a tough situation for the Kings. Are we surprised that they're not going to be able to continue?
Nope.
I mean, no, but I'm sure, at least from my perspective, I am surprised that they're not going to be able to finish the season.
Yeah, that totally.
When you start the season, you expect that team can finish the season.
Yeah.
Even Rams finished last year.
Yeah.
With huge economical problems, but they finished the season.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that we're the most concerned. It was the biggest surprise that they're not going to be able to finish. We were talking about before the show, and we also talked about it in the Spanish version. Apparently, the Kings were spent like more than $2 million.
Yeah, the statement said that that the new ownership has bought the team last year, and that they have spent it more or less $2 million in operations. So they have lost a sponsor, they have lost the facilities, everything, but I don't know how
Tough
in the
situation.
hell you can pay $2 million in this elf. I think that it's too much money.
I mean, it's too much money, especially because where is the money going?
Yeah.
You're not hiring, you're not signing the best players.
Nope.
We can see it for the quarterback position, right?
You don't have the highest paid coaches. That's Rain.
That's Rain. You're not going to a new stadium. No. You're not
That's
doing any
Hamburg.
type of marketing plans super crazy that it's engaging with a lot of the
And Vikings have losses, but you see how Vikings have to change. For example, their semi-final game last year because it was an issue with the stadium. You see that they have spent a lot of money in a lot of players, and they are a German team. I mean, half of the games are less than 500 kilometers from their home. So it's not like, Dragons who has to travel, or Milan who has to travel, or Fenerbahce who has to travel. They have short trips. So it's for me, it's everything in Kings. In economics, in Elf also. But in King's situation, it's absolute madness.
It opens up again the question of, is it reasonable? It's a good idea to have this many German teams?
I think the issue is not the German teams. I think the issue is the expansion of the league. They have first year 8. We were technically in 18. Now in 17. Probably we end the season in 16. It's double the teams in 2 years. And we have Madrid next year. And we have heard 24 in 24.
That's the plan. But how? I mean, I don't think the issue is expansion. I mean, obviously,
Too aggressive, maybe.
Maybe, but we don't see those problems with the rest of the teams, for example. We don't see that problem with Hamburg.
Yeah,
we see the problem with Kings, which they play in Leipzig, which is not one of the biggest cities, or at least one of the most engaging cities to go to in Germany. I don't know, maybe it's the choice of location, maybe it's the fact that, I don't know.
I have to talk that Hamburg maybe next year is not Hamburg also. Because they have told the mayor, the city hall of Hamburg, that they want a new stadium. And if they don't get it, they are supposedly going to Bremen.
Ooh.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll
But
see.
it's said that it has to be for the American football team from a female team soccer, football, and I think third tier football team, and it was 8,000 stadium, more or less. I don't know if they're gonna do it, but that was the thing that they have talked today.
I mean,
Strange day.
It's been a really weird day.
Yeah.
That's true. A bold. I don't know. I mean, a little bit too ambitious, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it is true that I wouldn't like. Hamburg has been a really like the city has taken care so well for the team, right? I don't know. I mean, it's assumed
A big
maybe.
support.
Yeah, it's Hamburg. The Hamburg team. It's
34,000 last week.
yeah.
34,000 last week.
I mean,
So-
I don't think it's a good idea. I mean, I think that it's okay to ask for this expansion,
Stadium? Yeah.
to ask for a bigger stadium, to try to bring more people in. I think it's a good idea, but I don't think that it's either this or we're gone. I think it's okay, we're going to ask for it. We want it. We need it. But we understand that it's something that takes time.
Yeah.
You know, so anyways, talking about Kings, which has been a chaos, let's move on to the next game, which is Musketeers 13 against Galaxy, a very dominant Galaxy, 30 points with a brand new quarterback. As we all know, Jacob Sullivan got injured in week 1. Most likely he was already playing injured during week 1. We got to see the German QB playing the week 2. And now they brought a new guy.
Yeah.
And I would say that he performed as he should.
Yeah.
He has a
28
canyon right there. A lot of big passes, big plays. And it looks like he entered really well in the scheme of the team.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, because that's one of your biggest concerns coming in, bringing a new QB. Is he going to be able to adapt to the scheme, to the system? Is he going to be able to perform as well as we want? Such as it's the Galaxy. They have a standard.
High expectations. Bringing a import QB is not the same as you bring a national QB that is like, okay, you have to do it well. We expect winning, but it's okay if you don't get the Jake Sullivan level. But it looks like he's at that level for now.
Yeah, I mean, especially because we saw that when the German QB played, he did really well.
Yeah.
He did well. He got the W. And after all, I mean, I thought that they were gonna let the German quarterback
Stay in that
Yeah.
position
Yeah.
of backup.
Because at the end, Sullivan is only 2 to 3, according to the plan, 2 to 3 weeks out. So
Yeah, 1 month at maximum.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could be the Galaxy trying to figure out the QB position, maybe trying to bring a new
Yes.
quarterback. Seeing Sullivan, which has performed at a high level
when he's
healthy, but the
Yeah.
problem is that he got injured last year. He was out for several weeks. He was not performing at a high level. And the Galaxy had to wait for him to actually recover.
Yeah.
This year, he was already injured at starting the year. So it's kind of like a tricky situation for the Galaxy. Are we going to stick to Sullivan and risking having to do this every year due to his injuries? Or maybe you can shoot our shot, try to bring a new QB, see how he does. He has
played well.
Played
Danny
well.
played well.
They won against the Paris, which, talking about Paris, they're not as near as good as we expected them to be. And
They're a bad rookie team.
yeah, they're looking pretty bad. Especially because with all the names that they have, right?
All the hype.
Yeah.
All the hype. I think that there must be some ego problem, some locker room issue,
Yeah, for sure.
Coaching issue also.
coaching issues. Especially because when you see all these great names, top tier names, Zach Edwards, Kyle Swede,
Remy Bertelin.
Botella.
Botella, we see all these great players that are vets in the league. Because I understand the rest of the players.
And for example, Botella has a ring.
Botella has a
Last
ring
year-
with the
Last year
Vikings.
ring. Yeah.
We see this, and it's either too many big names, only one ball, big ego problem, or maybe the coaching staff it's not even as good as we expect
Yeah.
them to be with.
I think that the system for now is being the biggest problem.
Yep.
They cannot get the ball to their playmakers, and they are suffering a lot. I think that making all that big names working together.
Yeah, totally agree. I think that the issue is a system problem. We have talked in the Spanish show that when you have that online problems, you have to throw the ball in 3 seconds or less. It's true that Zach Edwards tends to overextend every play.
Yes.
But we haven't seen screens, we haven't seen slants,
pass.
we haven't seen outs, short routes, passes in 1, 2, 3 seconds and end it. We have seen always the play, always the Kyle Sweet in long distance, Adrià Botella in a vertical game. You cannot play with that if your line doesn't stay
support you.
4, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And they're still trying the same. So I think they have a big issue.
I think that there's like an issue that's a little bit of a mix between coaching staff and the players. The coaching staff expecting, all right, we don't need to have the biggest system, the best system, because we have the best players, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna rely on the quality and the level of our players to move the team forward. On the other hand, you need a system, right? We, as you were saying, the offensive lineman has been an issue. Zach is well known for trying to always do the big play, throwing the ball deep, scrambling, trying to make something out of nothing. But
Taking some risks.
Yeah. But if he doesn't get injured, that he's a tough QB, he's gonna get 3 for 3 of the most sacked QB. 3 years, 3 different lines, 2 different teams, 3 times the most sacked QB in the L.
that's not
tough.
looking good for him. Yeah.
No.
I mean, we gotta see, as you were saying, a better system, a better playbook. We've seen it for teams such as the Seamen. I'm a huge fan of the Milano team because they have a great playbook because they know exactly
How to play their players.
how to play their players. I wouldn't have said it better. How to play their players.
Yeah.
Zach, it's a deep ball threat,
Yeah.
and
A
he likes,
scrambler too.
and he's also a mobile quarterback, right?
Yeah.
He can
Dual threat.
dual
Yeah,
threat.
exactly.
He can read the line, try to run, otherwise hand off the ball. Some more option runs, speed options, trying to-
RPOs.
RPOs, trying to put the ball, hand the ball faster to Kyle Sweet, or Botella, right?
Yeah.
Because he's one of the biggest tight ends in the league.
He's a big target, and he gets open all the time.
He's good. He's
Yeah.
really reliable on that short routes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's the playbook that they're not. I don't know what's going on.
The biggest problem is the system right now, and they don't have a solid defense.
Nope.
So
Yeah, because they have to rely all their games on the offense, and the offense is not
Yeah.
working, and they have to figure it out.
yeah, I think that in the off season they want a big offense. All the imports, the big imports are coming to the offense. The defense is like, yeah, we have some good names, but not the best. And when the offense is not working, the defense is not staying to the level to win the game. So
Yeah,
right now,
it's a tough situation for the Musketeers.
Everything's gonna get tougher.
1-3, I think
Yep.
they're
Yeah,
right now.
1-3.
It's a tough situation.
They are 3 games behind Rain.
Yes, I mean I think that it's safe to say that the Musketeers can say goodbye to the playoffs.
If they lose against Hamburg next week, they are out. Not mathematically, of course, but they are out.
They're pretty much out. Anyways, moving on to the next game, we have the Ravens against the Dragons, 39-15. Tough loss for the Dragon, for the Catalonian team. Tough game.
Yeah.
Tough game. I mean, I can't say much more than a tough game for Barcelona.
Ravens play better in every single option of the game. Yes, it's true, the first drive of Dragons end well, in that 3 points. After that, Dragons was self-on themselves. They played awfully in offense. Awfully. Conor Mill had a lot of issues, a lot of mistakes. And the defense, well, we have seen in the video, if you have seen the game, if not, and you are seeing the best plays, Ravens run like they wanted with the Irish running back. They pass like they wanted. And the biggest issue that has been in Ravens' side all the 3 weeks before is that they don't defend the secondary.
Yeah.
In this game, they are better secondary than Dragons. I think it's a really tough game, but it's also a statement. Right now, Dragons is not one of the 3 best teams in the Central Conference, and Munich is, with a lot of difference, we have talked about that last week, with a lot of difference, the best rookie team. And they are playing really, really well.
Yeah, by far. Especially because we already signed on the very first week. Yeah. Ravens have really interesting stuff, really interesting, good quality players.
Good staff,
Yeah.
good system.
And they just had to
Adjust.
get that feeling
Get
of
used to the league.
exactly. And Dragons, I mean, they played against other 2 rookie teams, week 1, week 2. Last week against Tyrol, they got to have a taste against what is it like to play against a real team. And this week, more of the same story.
Yep.
And it was tough. There are rumors. I mean, for the viewers that are not from here, from Spain, Catalonia, they had this one like big bank holiday, really well known in Barcelona. There are rumors about
They might have been affected about that in their pre-game, post-game situation, so that can be a story to follow next week.
yeah. So a little bit. The best decisions were not made prior to the game, and I think that we all saw the consequences of it. And again, it's hard. It's hard to be productive on the offense when you're throwing interceptions, your fumbles, bad snaps, etc., etc., etc. Again, the Dragons next week they're gonna have their bye week, so let's see if they actually manage to get some rest, gather their thoughts, improve some of the aspects that we've already been talking in the past weeks,
And a tough look in the crowd also.
and a tough look for the crowd.
It was only, I think the number that has sent attendance, the number that Dragons have sent is 1,100, so it's the fewest of all, well, with Enthroners, but the fewest of the week.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's tough also.
that's tough. That's tough. But tougher is the result of the next game. Guards 0 against the Seaman 32. What a clinic. I mean, we gotta say that it was a slow start for both teams. And apparently for the Guards for the rest of the game too.
Yeah, not only the start.
Yeah.
Not only the
For
start.
Guards, it was a good nap that here in Spain they took a long nap, this weekend. Especially in offense. Long nap.
I mean, again, same story. The Guards. Salis Nasita, it's the Guards. Offense, and I mean the defense, they actually make big plays, as you can see right now on the screen. A big fumble recovery for the Guards defense. But again, if your offense is not working and it's fully on depending on one player, as soon as they manage to lock down that player, you're pretty much done for the game. On the other hand, talking about a little bit about comparing the Milano against the Paris. The Milano have a really, really interesting playbook. I like them a lot. They actually know how to play their players.
Yeah. They are improving, I think, from the week 1 to now.
I think that the loss against Dragon right now, it wouldn't be a loss for Milan,
Maybe no.
because I think that what you have said, that they are playing their players, but we have seen that they are expanding what their players can do. We have seen more playbook in offense. We have seen in defense I think it's true that it's the Silancita show, so it's easy to stop. But I think that we have seen some improvements, some adjustments in game, not only before the game. I think that's what makes them the second best team in the rookie fight.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, going back to the Milano's offense, I like to see how they put Jean Constant, making them work
system.
for them,
Yeah.
in the system. Compared to last year, like when he was playing for the Hamburg Sea Devils, he was completely disappeared. He had like little to none impact for the game. But compare Hamburg to Milano, Milano is actually being really engaged.
Creative.
Yeah, creative. Putting constant and wildcat formations, handing him the ball like with easy passes for screens. He actually scored a couple times. It's really interesting how they know how to use and make every single one of their players
Much more useful than.
much more useful. That's the word. That's the word. So yeah, I mean, much more. I mean, there isn't much more to say about this game, really.
Well,
Especially
I only want to say that Jan Constant is starting to get the Roy Kent treatment. Roy Kent from Ted Lasso, he's there.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
there. That's I think that's the way to use Jan Constant. He's the only option to an offense because he's not the best receiver. He's not a running back, of course. He's not a QB, but that kind of mixture of positions, of plays, of things, he's a triple threat, and that's so fun to see.
He's really good in running after catch.
Yeah.
So if you play a quick pass or screens that give to him the ball and run for your life, that's gonna work.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, we saw it in Barcelona.
Yeah.
The best plays that we saw from Constant was as soon as he was returning the ball. He's a great returner. So as soon as he actually gets the ball, he can do incredible stuff.
He's difficult to stop.
Yeah. So yeah, moving on to the next game. Interesting scoreboard. Tirol Raiders 3 against the Stuttgart, sir. Let's go, baby. Interesting game, despite of the scoreboard, 3-6. One might think, what a boring game, but to be fair, it was a full-on defensive clinic.
Yeah.
It was
Really solid defense.
Yeah.
With it's not the thing that the offense played bad game because they were doing good drives, they were moving the ball, but when it matters in the red zone, the defense step up and stop the offense on the both sides, on the both teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that Schurz is playing really well, of course. We have talked about that, about the unicorns and everything. But in this game, we've seen a team that should have lost the game because they started behind and we were seeing that it wasn't going to be a shootout, that it's going to be a 10 points game. And they stayed in the game, they played well. It's true that the Raiders have, for example, that stupid fumble in the red zone that cost them points. But at the end, Stuttgart played a solid game. I think that's the important part, that they have won some really cool, flashy games. Now they play a gritty game and they won it. And I think that's the thing that tells me Stuttgart can do great things this year.
Yeah, they're ready for entering the playoffs, and when they arrive there, have to see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, right there we can see it. Another touchdown for Geyer.
The only one on the game.
The only one. Top dog for the Stuttgart Surge. He's a hell of a player.
I think that he's one of the best local.
Homegrowns.
Yeah.
I would have to agree with that. And again, I mean, right there, it's not like, because for example, if we got to see a game in which the quarterbacks are not very accurate, that it's incompletion after incompletion, three and out. Okay, I understand that it might be a slow game, boring game, but we can see actually stops after catch.
Yeah.
Defense actually reading really well the situation.
Reacting good scouting too, I think.
Yeah.
And for example, that kind of play that at the end, it's a complete pass. But you see how the defensive line starts to attack the offensive line and how they win. and the QB is throwing under pressure all the time. He's doing good throws, but he's not throwing in a good spot.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's
He's been
what
pressure.
shows that it's been a good QB's game. They playing well,
Yeah.
but defense play better, and that's really funny. In a league that we have seen a 96 game point, I think that a 9, that is the record of the league and the lowest, I think it's also cool.
Yeah, it's really interesting to finally get to see defenses actually being productive and working and being true threats.
Yeah.
True threats.
We have to talk also about the loss of the running back number 1 of Tyrell Ryder.
Yeah.
Hando is not going to play anymore this season. So that's a big loss for the team. That was a big name on that roster that they cannot.
Yeah.
Him and Boehinger, 2 ex-NFL players, 2 out. It's been a tough season about injuries.
Yeah. It's always
Yeah,
a tough.
that's true.
It's always tough. It's always
Yeah.
tough to have to deal with injuries. Best of luck for them. Hope that they get fast and healthy recovery. But anyways, moving on to the next game. The Berlin Thunders 17 against the Sea Devils 37. Sorry, Charger. I know that you're gonna see this show later on. Sorry, Charger, but the Devils came and to dominate.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a hell of a game! What a hell of a game!
I think it's the best game that we have seen from Hamburg all year, and it was the first time that we have seen the 2 times second position. They played well. They played their strengths, and we have seen that the QB is starting to get in that kind of rhythm with the receivers. For Berlin, it wasn't a bad game. It isn't, for example, an Enthroner game or a King game that you have, or even Dragons game that you just surrender. They were simply not enough. And I think that's a good thing to say about Berlin because they played well, but they couldn't match Hamburg. I think that Hamburg came as one of the favorites. If they have lost this game, they will be in the Paris position, almost out of the playoff. They need to win. They win. Good game for them, but I think it's not a bad day from Berlin. It's a really good game for Hamburg.
Yeah, we're seeing the Hamburg that we have been seeing last year.
Yeah.
A solid team on both sides of the ball that want to make the player and not only arriving to the players, making wins on that off season. So let's see if they can maintain this good win.
Yeah, I mean, especially because, like, as you were saying, this is the Hamburg Sea Devils that we want to see.
Yeah.
This is the Hamburg Sea Devils that we have seen year 1, year 2, and right now, finally, they're starting to get a feel, getting back to the rhythm they used to be. So I'm excited to see more about this Hamburg Sea Devil team. And I mean, tough loss for the Thunder.
Yeah.
But I mean, they managed to play, to fight. I mean, Charger always loves about this team that they're always fighting until the very end. So, I mean, props to them for that.
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on to the next. However you guys want to call it against the game.
Bloodbath, maybe it's the name. Bloodbath, massacre, blowout. Yeah, it's
Have different names.
have many names.
Moving on to the last game of the week. the Rainfire 42 to the Cologne Centurions 0. I mean, you saw that right. 0.
They have no chance. Literally no chance.
No, it was. I mean, we have seen the Rainfire that we have seen all season long so far. A Deidre Clark being dominant. He only had 1 interception, but it's the first interception in I don't know how many weeks now. You were saying about
I think it's in the last week and this. I don't know if it's 11 touchdowns, 1 interception, 12 touchdowns, 1 interception. If we put all the weeks, it's like 16-2. It's absolute madness. It's unstoppable. He's really good. He has really good receivers.
Good system.
Whittinger, it's putting in the best position possible every single time.
Yeah. Crazy playbook.
Tom Sula in defense, it's going mad. This game, it wasn't a game really. They were playing like it was playing against me. Yeah, it's awful. It's like they start the game, They have 2-3 receivers alone. They score. They get the ball back. They have again 2-3 receiver out. They score. And when they have Centurions have any big play, any momentum, they destroy it.
With a fumble,
Hashtag
right
a
there.
fumble.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's awful playing against Rain right now.
I mean, I wish the best of luck for any team that has to face
Yeah.
the Rimfire right now. I mean, I think they have a bye week now. I think maybe.
Rain.
Right now.
Well, you could say that, but technically not a bye week.
Well, they're gonna play the Guards
Another
next week.
scrimmage game,
Yeah,
but
literally it's a scrimmage. Yeah, well, it's gonna be awful. That's gonna be a bloodbath in many levels, but we'll talk about that later.
So yeah, again, I mean, what else can we say about this game? I mean, it was crazy. It was the Rimfire were just doing whatever they wanted. They run however they wanted. They threw the ball however they wanted. They even had like a lateral right there. I think this is the play. There's a fumble recovery right there. About to get tackled. Nope. A lateral. And a play that goes from nothing to completely something right there. It's dude.
You can explain that.
that's not serious.
It's awful. It's you have introduced a fumble when he has caught the ball. Okay, it's a good play. You are gonna start in the 30. Okay, it's a good play.
Yeah, what a catch.
You end up starting in their 20. It's absolute madness. You can explain that.
Yeah.
They are the best team in the league.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, again, what else can we say? What else can we say? I mean, you guys can continue watching the highlights of this game at the very end of the show because we're not gonna talk more about this game because there's nothing else to talk about. So let's move on to Week 5 calendar, and we can talk a little bit more about it as soon as you get to see the coming up games.
These weekend matchups.
All right, so let's start off with the Centurions Galaxy game coming up next week. All right, well,
It's gonna be a game. That's for sure.
I mean, two teams are gonna show up. That's for sure.
That's something that we can say about all the games this week. So that's a positive. Yeah. We have 7 games that we can call that. So that's good.
So I mean, again, Galaxy. I think that about this game, what I'm gonna be looking forward to the most is how is the brand new quarterback for the Galaxy gonna perform in their second week,
Yeah.
and let's see how they roll. You know,
Yeah.
that's my main focus.
But I think that we all think that Galaxy is gonna win.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Of course. I
Just
don't.
to let it clear for the people.
Also, it was a tougher situation for the QB playing against Paris.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
what we need to see this weekend is dominance, I think.
Yeah, we have to see a performance. Okay, of course, I think that the Galaxy are gonna win. The question is for how much? Like,
Yeah.
what's
What's the
gonna be?
difference?
What's
Yeah.
the difference gonna be?
3 touchdowns, I think, at least.
Of difference?
3.
Yeah.
3 at least.
Maybe yes.
Yeah. I will have to agree with that. I will have to agree with that. So I mean, anyways, moving on to the next game. Again,
Most
other
of the
two-
same.
other two teams that they're gonna show up. The Guards against the Fire. A Fire.
Fire versus Nasita.
Yeah, it's 11 against 1. I think it's not fair, but okay.
The Guards. They're just in a really, really, really tough position right now. Nasita, it's gonna have to do much more than just show up. The entire team just. I mean, it's Fire. They're just gonna win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
it can be one of the toughest games to watch this week, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
because there are also
There are another two games that is gonna be it's gonna be a game
Yeah.
for sure.
So yeah, I mean, again, you guys feel free to leave down in the comments your thoughts and maybe even prayers for for the game.
Just to know, in the Spanish version, we have said what's the difference of points. I have 69 points in favor of Rainfire. So that's more or less my expectations about Helvetic Guards.
Anyways, moving on. The Hamburg Sea Devils against the Paris Musketeers. We have seen a Sea Devils back-to-back wins get into motion, right?
Yeah.
I expect them to play even better than
Yeah.
they played this last couple games. Maybe they're riding pretty high in their streak.
They are rivals of the conference.
Yeah.
So
If Paris lose, they are really,
1-4.
really down in the playoff chances. I
Yeah.
think it's less than 3% if they lose. So
no, for sure.
I mean, I think that Paris, despite of having the need to win this game, I think that the stress, the surroundings, the locker room is gonna be
That bad environment
yeah,
right
really-
now that
yeah.
involves the franchise.
they're gonna there's like a bad vibe overall.
Yeah.
I think tension, a lot of tension, and I think that again we already said the exact same thing last week about this tension building up.
Yeah.
And I think that same story.
I think so.
Anyways, the Berlin against maybe bye week for the Berlin.
We don't know
well,
if in
but
this
I think
matchup.
it's not a bye week. It's an automatic W.
Yeah,
That's the issue.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue because if we know something about Spanish leagues and things like that, when it was the League Concursal that make teams disappear in the middle of the seasons, if you have played against against Kings, your result counts, but if you haven't played against them, they lose all the games. That's a huge issue for the players. Because there are teams that they are not gonna play that game and they're gonna get an automatic win. If, for example,
Enthroners or Lion.
no, but, for example, imagine that Frankfurt play against them and Hamburg no.
Yeah, that's
Frankfurt has an automatic win. Of course, they are gonna win to Leipzig because blah blah blah, blah, but they have an automatic win.
Yeah.
That can be a really big issue, and also in the standings,
Of
because
the
you win
second-
1-0.
yeah.
So your advantage against points is going to be shorter
Yeah.
because you have one less game. It's going to be a tough situation for the league if they don't play.
Yeah,
which
we
is
have to see.
It's
Probability.
gonna be a tough situation for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully they manage to find a sponsor.
To show up all the rest of the games
Yeah,
this
we
season.
hope so. But
mean-
we are recording this on Tuesday. Right now, there is no official confirmation that it's going to be a game. That's really tough to say.
That's really tough to say. Anyways, moving on to the Stuttgart against the Ravens. Moving on. I
Big
mean,
game.
I think
It's the game.
I think this
It's
is
the
the
game.
game of the week. I
Yeah.
would say that it's the game of the week. Stuttgart Surge showing off that they're playing at a really, really, really high level. Let's go Surge. But I gotta say, that the Ravens are one of those teams that you have to watch out.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a team that almost everyone that is not from a team,
Yeah.
you want to root for them. New
Yeah.
team, they play really fun style of football, very vertical in offense. In defense, they are starting to pick up. I think that Surge is the favorite, and I think they are gonna win.
Yeah.
But I think this is gonna be a intense game. And I
A close game.
Yeah, and I think Munich is gonna be that kind of team that I don't know if they are good enough to win the playoffs, but for sure I'm gonna root them to be in that playoffs.
No, for sure. They have a crazy start, 3-0, winning Riders, that is the direct rival of the
Yeah.
conference.
Yeah.
So right now, it's for sure that they are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But we have to see that in that first game of the play-on, they have to play against, I don't know, maybe a Galaxy, maybe a Riders. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that game you can lose it.
I mean, yeah, because absolutely, because right now, from what we have saw
Yeah.
so far, what we have been able to see, Stuttgart and the Vikings are top dogs right now of the league.
Well,
especially coming out.
Fire.
Sorry,
Fire.
I was
Fire is
yeah.
top dog.
okay.
Vikings and
Fire. I forgot. Sorry. Fire.
Vikings.
Big Papa. Big Papa. And then we have two big dogs. So we have Daddy, right? And then we have.
it's getting worse. The next game is even worse. I don't know if we're gonna say
You can
that
when I forget Fire. that was okay.
And then we have top dogs, which are the Vikings and Stuttgart right now. And Stuttgart, despite of being top dog, they have to watch out, obviously, for the Fire, obviously for Vikings,
Munich.
but also for Galaxy Raiders and München.
And I would say that also Wrocław, maybe the 17th,
Yeah.
the Panthers.
Yeah.
The Panthers, true,
Yeah.
true.
They're little tired before them. It's like the second B tier, but they are not bad team. I think they can
They're
do
the top of the
Yeah,
second.
I mean,
tier.
I think that they can put up a fight,
Exactly.
yeah.
but the Stuttgart would win against them.
Would be a favorite, yes, of course.
Yeah. So
We
again,
have to see how those teams enter in the playoff about the injuries
Yeah.
that they accumulate. So we have to.
And it's weird to talk about playoffs in the third week, but the teams that have right now 0 losses, and the teams that have won, that are Frankfurt, Ryder, Wrocław,
Galaxy.
Munich, Galaxy, I think that's that kind of teams that are gonna end in the playoff, or at least fighting until the last week.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think that's the kind of expectation that we have from them.
So what I would say is that our intake about the game, it would be Stuttgart favorites.
Yeah.
But there might be a big surprise
Yeah.
from Ravens.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's gonna be a
Anyways,
fight.
I'm rooting for you, Stuttgart. Let's go, top dogs.
But not Big Papa. Not
And no daddy.
Daddy.
Anyways, moving on to the next game.
The other top dogs.
The Seamen against the Raiders. I would say that we are in a pretty similar situation again. Raiders, obvious favorites.
Yeah.
You know, but the Seamen might show up with really interesting stuff.
I want to go with them.
You want to go with
I
them?
want to go with Milano. I think that it's
Okay.
almost impossible, but we have seen really fun game from Milano. I think that Jan Constant is gonna get a mad week because he always get that kind of week in big games. Of course, Raiders are huge favorites, but I think that if someone can pull the miracle this week, and for me Munich is not a miracle against Stuttgart,
Okay.
they are them. They can do it.
Okay.
They might.
Riders come without the running back one.
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
so
They might. I would say that the way I see this game is that the Seamen will play against the Raiders as we expected the Dragons to play the Raiders last week.
Exactly.
yeah.
And if they do, they might put up a fight. The Raiders are gonna win because they're also top dogs right there.
There are a lot of top
okay,
dogs according to
they're
you.
not top dogs, but they're dogs.
So let me get this straight. It's Papa, then top dogs, then dogs, and after that with his doggies. And then
puppies.
the cat. The last is the puppies. I mean, that's the kind of tier we're gonna do it. Remember, I want the next program to have like you blackboard and you explain
Yes,
with
yes.
Papa, with the
tiers,
dogs, yeah, exactly.
the tiers.
But with the real name. So Papa, the dogs.
If you guys want to see that, me ranking and
Let us know in the
let us know in the
comments.
comments if you guys want to
Yeah.
see me rank them for like daddy, top dog,
Mommy and the
Uncle, cousin.
Anyway, so
and then we have
we'll finally get to see the Lions again. Finally, yes, the Lions against the Panthers.
Yeah, what a game!
What a game!
Really, really close. We expect that to be. I hope Lions to score. That's the good part.
Yeah.
I mean,
that would be the surprise.
the question
No, I
is,
think it's not gonna be a surprise because if Panthers have played against Enthroners and Enthroners scored 33 points
In the second half.
in the second half, I expect Lions to do more or less the same thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
with the backups in the field, but
yeah, the question is, when are the Panthers gonna get their second unit out so
Yeah.
the Lions can start scoring points?
yeah, halftime.
I think you need to at least play 2 quarters.
But
At
you,
least.
But you have to think about now the backups have played one half,
of
so
course.
they are in rhythm. Yeah.
That's tough.
So
That's gonna be tough.
that's not gonna be the same. They have much confidence.
My God. It's so tough to do this program with in the last 2 weeks we have seen one close game.
Yeah.
It's so tough to not joke about that. And we have a game that is gonna be even worse.
Yeah. No, this is the worst game
Yeah.
of the week without that. Well, Wildfire is also
Yeah, it's
competing
gonna be
for
tough.
that worst
It's tough,
game of the
but-
week, but
But the Vikings and Throners.
Mind
Last game of the week, Vikings and Throners. Will the Vikings beat the Jadron Clark record?
8,000 record.
No, I think I think no because they tend to play with a little bit more of the running game. So I think they are not gonna beat their record. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
but you have to think about the new Kubis want to show up.
Yeah,
And he is throwing bombs right there. In the last game, he was really good throwing deep. So I think that
I'm gonna send it that to other sport, but this is like we have put in the same car Nicky Lauda and Saltbaum Garner. It's gonna be absolute annihilation. It's gonna be awful to see. I'm sorry for Enthroners, but
Yeah.
what is the best case scenario for them?
scoring a field goal, maybe.
The best case scenario is to score 14 points and don't get 100. That's the best scenario.
Yeah.
It's so tough to think that that can be a game.
I think the best scenario would be having less than
50 against.
5 turnovers. I would say.
That
But
would
again,
be a really nice scenario. For
Yeah,
them.
best of luck for them Throners. Vikings, I mean, obviously
they're gonna win.
they're
Yeah,
gonna win.
yeah.
They're gonna
No,
win.
but we have to say that Enthroners playing that kind of game, they are doing something gutsy. They are trying to play.
Yeah.
It's tough. They are gonna lose a big. We are making jokes because the game is gonna be
But in
decided.
the fourth quarter, when it's decided the game,
Yeah.
they still trying.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think that when we talk about guards, when we talk about Enthroners, when we talk about Lions, when we talk about even Kings in this week in particular, we know they're gonna lose.
Yeah.
Because we know it. They have to try. I respect the players. I respect the coaches.
Yeah.
But the league has that issue.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
if you have one close game in 16, and in this week we are talking that we maybe have one close game,
Maybe two.
maybe
Yeah.
two.
I mean,
Amber
I-
Paris, Simon,
Yeah,
I mean-
Shorts, Ravens. I mean,
in that sense, I feel like Charger, that he admires the Berlin Thunders for
Yeah.
always pushing forward. I admire the Throners, and overall, every single one of the rookie teams, I admire them. That we know that they're in
they
a
are
really
fighters.
tough. They're
Yeah.
fighters.
they're in a tough spot.
Yeah, they're in a tough spot. It's really tough to be in that situation, but they keep on fighting, and we actually get to see how they're working on improving their game. Sure, some teams have it more difficult than others.
Yeah.
We can see the guards struggling a little bit more because of the Nasida situation, obviously. But again,
It's ridiculous that we talk about that like the Nasita situation in the meaning that he's so above of the rest of the team
Yeah.
that they cannot do anything if he's not from him.
yeah,
I think that's tougher because Enthroner, they are a bad team.
yeah.
They're a bad team,
But they
bad
are
players,
the whole bad
but
team.
they are like in that kind of way that if we are all the same level, at least there is not something that stood out. Like he's so bright and the rest is so dark
Yeah.
that it's like a little bit more interesting to see maybe.
Yeah, I mean
But-
that's the tough part of the league.
Yeah.
That there's such a big difference between the teams.
We have the papas and we have the bad teams. Yeah. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna use it that for the rest of the year.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
For sure.
So, anyways, I mean, before we leave the show,
But I have to say I prefer Big Papa than
Than
Papa.
Daddy,
Big
no?
Papa, I like it. It's a Scott Steiner reference.
I'm
it's
better
always
than
good.
Daddy too.
Yeah, Daddy, it's a little bit weird, but
anyways, it's been a great show. I had a lot of fun with you guys today. Remember, we're on Twitch for the Spanish version if you want to try it out. We're in YouTube. We're in Twitter, Instagram, all the social media. So if you want to give us a follow, a like, subscription, whatever you want to do, feel free to do that. Support the channel. We love to do this, and we want to continue doing all this for you guys. So
Thank you so much for all the support that we're receiving in this English version of the program.
Yeah.
for us it's
crazy.
madness because last week it was like almost 1,000. The first week it was like almost 500. We are not native speakers, none of us. We are all Spanish speakers that we are doing this in English, and for us, I think that's amazing, and we are so proud about people seeing the game. People from Germany,
thankful,
from England, so we are really thankful.
So thankful to you guys. We wouldn't be doing the show if it wasn't for you guys. So anyways, before we leave, remember right now, we're gonna leave you with every single touchdown of the game of the week, and enjoy your week, enjoy the games, and see you next week.
Bye.
Loading, strike with the lyrics like I'm bowling. Keep pushing on, keep rolling. And when I listen, but I told him one more time. Your favorite MCs, bronze or silver. These raps here are golden. Cards on the table, there's no folding. Spit bars at the club, zoning. TikTok come to London, get ripped off. Man get pissed off when I start lift off. Sweet like flavors, cookie and biscuit. Round here, yeah, the bars I get ripped off. Picked up my song, yo, every time I tripped up. Little petty trended the big rock. Me and my G's do MFA mix up. Full circle, now everybody linked up. That's irrelevant, memory like an elephant. Keep it hard, but you know that it's elegant. Get mad, but always benevolent. Always moving up, just leveling. Constantly telling them rhyming, riddling. Cycle through these streets, I'm pedaling. Hibernating them bombs, she's back again. Oh, cause a little fire on the track again. Turn the music up, vibe like an icon. Yeah, if you want buff, we can go psycho. Head to head, bar to bar, turn a mic on. Turn the music up, vibe like an icon. Yeah, it's clear, it's evident. Yeah, I don't mind, I'll do it for the hell of it. Yeah, elevate bars, I regulate. Yeah, UK, we up the tune, just meditate. If he didn't get it by 9, then it kinda late. Man thinks he's a bad man, but he's kinda bait. Live every day like it's my last, celebrate. Mind on the task, we calibrate. Loaded, strike with the lyrics like I'm bowling. Keep pushing on, keep rolling. Didn't wanna listen, but I told him. One more time, your favorite MCs, bronze or silver. Too bad these vibes here are golden. Cards on the table, there's no folding. Spit bars at the club, zoning. That's irrelevant, memory like an elephant. Keep it hard, but you know that it's elegant. Get mad, but always benevolent. Always moving up, just leveling. Constantly telling them rhyming, riddling. Cycle through these streets, I'm pedaling. Hibernating them bombs, she's back again. Oh, cause a little fire on the track again. Turn the music on, vibe like an icon. Yeah, if you want buff, we can go psycho. Head to head, bar to bar, turn the mic on. Turn the music up, vibe like an icon. Who's the icon?